Hi everyone, welcome to this latest podcast for the first year students in Section 1 and Section 3. We will be covering the weeks of April 9th and April 16th. Sorry I missed last week, too much work to do, but we'll have these 2 weeks covered in this podcast. And here is a little message about this time of the semester. Hang in there, people, because spring is coming soon. The snow will melt and flowers will grow. It's spring. It's spring. It's spring. And here's your new theme song.
From the garden, by the garden, on the willow tree, come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Thanks, Tiny Tim, for that inspirational song. So yes, hang in there, spring is coming, and we're almost through the semester, so you're gonna make it. All right. Let's dive in. If you have not already done so, please go and get your agenda or your calendar or your phone or your list of assignments. And let's look first at the week of April 9th. So, first thing I will highlight is that the presentations in the lab will continue on Monday mornings. Franca says those are going well, and from what I've heard, the kids have been enjoying those. So if your turn is on Monday, April 9th, make sure you are ready to present in the lab. For my health course on Tuesday, April 10th, the nutrition case study assignment is due. That is worth 20% of your final grade. Some people have asked me for an extension. If you think you might need an extension, send me a MIO as soon as possible, and I will give you until Monday, April 16th. But you have to send me a MIO as soon as possible. So that's the nutrition case study due on Tuesday, April 10th. Also on that date will be the first group meeting for the snack prep assignment. I will review the snack prep assignment and the groups will form and will have their first meeting. So very important to attend class on that day. As always, for the nutrition class, bring your apron, bring your hairnet or your bandana. On Tuesday, April 10th, there will be another in-class assignment worth 2.5% of your final grade, and cleanup crew number 2 will swing into action. So if your name is on the board, you are in cleanup crew number 2, and that is also worth 5% of your final grade. For your safety class, Carmelina reminds you to please attend class. The in-class assignments are ongoing, and all the material covered in class is very important. On Wednesday, the 11th of April in play, you will be learning about writing developmental objectives. And then on Friday the 13th, you will have an in-class assignment in play on writing developmental objectives, and that is worth 5% of your final grade. For safety on Fridays, remember, attendance to the first aid classes is mandatory if you would like to get certified, and as always, bring your manual to the first aid classes on Friday. All right, let's now look at the week of April 16th. More presentations in the lab on Monday, April 16th. This is going to be a big day for some of you. Also on Monday the 16th, test number 2 in sociology, and that is worth 20% of your final grade, and test number 2 in child development, also worth 35% of your final grade. So that is a big day. Then you can relax on Tuesday the 17th in our health class. We will be having the second group meetings for the snack prep assignment. So again, attendance very important on that day. One group member should be designated to print out the document pack that I will upload onto Omnivox for that assignment. So that's an important reminder there. And cleanup crew number 3 will be ready to swing into action. So again, make sure your name is on the board if you are in cleanup crew number 3. And then again, bring your manual for the first aid class on Friday. That's it for those 2 weeks. That's all the information. good reminder. Breathe through the nose. Send me your tips. If you have any information you'd like to share with me, you could become a podcast star. Post your comments on YouTube. You can always get a full transcript by clicking on transcript. And as always, look out for the next announcement, because that will mean a new podcast has been uploaded and is ready to go. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks. Bye.